Let's start this morning with the moment of Zen before the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Day 112. Just leaving Stony Brook. That little moment of Zen there. It's a primitive campsite. It's not marked on far out, just some comments, but there are two pretty nice setup. Let's get a little haze off the lens. Had a great night's sleep. Didn't want to wake up this morning, but today should be 15 to 20 miles. Trying to get set up to go into Hanover, New Hampshire in a couple of days at the right time. So don't want to do too many big miles and big mountains on any particular day, if it makes more sense just to divide it up. But we'll do what we can. We're gonna hike into the evening, I'm sure. And if you can't tell, it's a climb out of Stony Brook there. Unfortunately, that is the brook where the moment of Zen was. That brook, either there or the previous crossing, is where the hiker was lost last year. So thoughts to his family and friends. Looked like a real nice guy. There's some good tributes on the picture I took yesterday. There's a tribute page there. I believe it's showing there. If not, there is one on far out. But if you look up Steady Eddie Appalachian Trail 2023, I'm sure you'll find it. So anyway, it's a decent little climb out of town, or out of Stony Brook this morning. And it's beautiful out. It's low 50s, sunny, not a drop of condensation last night on the outside of the, or dew or anything on the tarp. And that white noise from the water going by on both sides was great. I got up about 10:30, looked up, and fireflies everywhere. I did see some neighbors move in across the creek in their tents, so they must have got in after dark. It was probably 10:20, 10:30. Their dome light was still on in their tent. Hope they're all right. I think we passed them yesterday. Coffee Bean and Happy Feet. It's probably who it is. Anyway, let's get hiking. Not sure what I can today. 15, 20, 22 miles, somewhere in that range. First, I got to get up this first climb. Use my other hand, one holding this camera, for my trekking pole. Let's see how the legs feel today. In the first 5 minutes, they feel like they may have recovered a little. I don't want to speak too soon though. Let's find out. Catch up in a minute. Well, we had to take a blue blaze here to Wintouri Shelter. It's about a quarter mile off the trail just to get water. Lately we've had pretty good access to water, but there's a long stretch here where there's just nothing. So unless you carry it up those last few peaks I had to climb, which sucks, then you have to walk a quarter mile each way, half-mile round trip to get a drink of water. You carry a little, because it's still several miles to the next water source. There's some water coming up at Virginia Route 12, but it says it flows by a lot of farms and cow pastures and might not be the best water to drink. So play it safe. We'll do a little half-mile round trip detour. And here's the Wintouri Shelter. Wasn't too steep, but we do have to climb back up to get out of here. But with full water, of course. And the water, I can hear it, is just over that little hill. All right, that was a good stop back at that shelter. Quarter mile downhill, quarter mile back uphill. It's actually second time I've stopped and had lunch on the entire trail. Just made a box of stovetop stuffing and had some snacks. Drank a lot of water. It's pretty warm out today. Now it's about 12 miles to the shelter we're trying to make it to. Trail Angel up here suggested Thistle Hill, I think is the name of it. It's a little less than 12 miles from here. I'll share with you, of course, whatever I see up there. First, I got to get there. There's another 8 or 9 climbs. Some of them very, very steep and straight up without switchbacks. Some of them are smaller. So, but it all adds up over the course of a day. Let's see how the stop for lunch and refilling my pockets with food for the day. We'll see how that all plays in. And my knee's still killing me. My legs feel okay. They're gonna be shot by the end of today, but that's okay. Nothing, little food and water won't fix, and some rest tonight. If we do this, that'll be about 22 miles and 5,900 feet of climbing. Over 6,000 now with that detour down to the shelter and back up. But tomorrow, with a reasonably long day, we'll be in Hanover, New Hampshire. Have one more state down. Get some more food, more town food, and get closer to the White Mountains. But there's a lot of rain coming, starting tomorrow evening, I think. Not torrential, but some days are as much of as an inch. Some days a lot less. I think every day for the next 5 or 6 days, starting tomorrow night, there's rain on the forecast. So let's see how that all plays out in the rocks and whatever mud might be in New Hampshire. Anyway, it's a sneak preview of what's going on today and tomorrow and in the coming days. I got new shoes coming. They should be up here another 50 or 100 miles at a hostel. Tell you more about it when I get closer. Another few days away though. These shoes that I'm using are still, they're okay. They're getting worn, but the toe part keeps coming off, but coming further and further out from the shoe. But they'll survive. And I'll catch up in a minute. A Scutney view. There must be a view, right? Well, use your imagination, right? Through the trees there. You can almost see part of a mountain over there. But a lot of the views and lookouts so far, this is what they look like. Looking at trees. But anyway, that's why there hasn't been a whole lot of video of beautiful views yet in the last couple days, or today, I guess, mainly. Yesterday weren't much either. Oh well, keep hiking. Some beautiful open pine forest here in Vermont. Haven't seen any large animals yet, but it's gorgeous. It's the best view all day. It's Route 12 down there. And then we have to climb up 600 feet or something, I believe, over one of these things. This is Route 12. It goes down south to Woodstock, not too far down the road. There's a farm stand up here to the left. I believe it's closed today, unfortunately. Double check before you walk up there. It's also where there's a trail angel from one of the people that watch this channel. Unfortunately, she's out of town today doing some other stuff, but that's okay. Got everything I need. It's nice to have her reach out and offer if she was around to help out if we needed it. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. It's a cool farmhouses out here. All right, I understand there's some crazy ticks in these fields too, so we'll get down there to the road and do a check. So after you cross Route 12, basically turn to your right on Route 12, walk down here, and there's a tiny little cut through the grass. There's no markings, no blazes, no nothing. Little tiny cross through here, and there's a little kiosk here. I don't know, it's not obvious. Couldn't find anything to tell us here, but using the Far Out app. Anyway, Thistle Hill Shelter, 9 more miles. It's hot and steep. Probably 3, 4, 5 steep ones and a few more not so steep climbs going out of here, or going to Thistle Hill Shelter. Let's do it. I procrastinated long enough. Here comes the first tough one of the day. Looks like an old VW bus buried here. Imagine it's just the top of the bus, but you never know. He's on that first real steep climb. Sorry, I can't talk, gotta climb. Okay, getting close to the top of this pretty rough climb. There's a little bit of a view. Got a little bit more to go, but it goes back into the woods. You can't tell, I'm winded. It goes back into the woods right here. All right, here's what I look like after that. Soaking wet like I got out of a swimming pool. Here comes a helicopter. You give me a lift to Katahdin. You hear it? All right, let me get hiking here. Bob gets a big jump start when he climbs these hills. He goes easy, but he flies. Not me. All right, made it to Stage Road in Vermont. I think it's miles 1734. I'll cross over this little bridge, go up about a quarter mile, get some water, and try to make it to Thistle Hill Shelter, 6.4 miles. There's still 2,400 feet of climbing to do to get there. My feet are starting to feel it. Oh well, let's crank. It's hot out here, so a little worn out right now, but got all the food. I'll take a couple more breaks and find some water a little further from this water. This is right next to all that fresh asphalt. We'll find something a little fresher up the hill here. Looks like it's snowing with all the pollen in the air. Cool place for a house. Some beautiful flowers. They smell good. Nope, something else smells good. Can't smell them. This is a nice overview. Some farmland. Well, so far we've gotten through a lot of big fields of grass, up to about my chest. So my arms. I don't know if you can see all the seeds from whatever's growing there. But so far, only one tick between the two of us. It was just now crawling on my sock. Just touched my leg. We have a few more to go through. Let's see. I've heard these areas in a month or so are just overrun with ticks. But this is surprisingly few today so far. Could change. We got, I think, 2 more fields to go up. Let's getting closer. Thistle Hills Shelter, 4.1 miles up that way. A little bit of a river crossing, but right now the water's so low, it's no big deal. They do have a pretty stiff cable there to use. I used it. You don't really need it, obviously. All right, let's go play Frogger and try to knock out this last 4 miles. Another decent view after a really tough climb. I still enjoy seeing all these old stone walls up in the mountains. Wonder how far back they date. I'm guessing they were fences for boundaries or livestock, or who knows? I do not. But you see them a lot way up here in the mountains. There's Bob way down there. He was flying up the hill. I was not. And I'm sure I'm more tired than he is. But you know what? I'm also 50 pounds heavier and twice his age almost. That's all right. He's in really good shape and does a real good job hiking. Here's the view from the second to last big climb today. pretty decent, as good as it gets today. Kind of hazy out there today, but you can see a long way. See a little mountain way over there. This road where the AT crosses, Stewardship Forest, Wood, Water, Rec, Wildlife, Tree Farm, Certified Tree Farm, private property, Vermont Land Trust. Somewhere down there, we're going to climb up and out right here. Well, that almost wraps up today. Mile 1740 coming up, and some change. Thistle Hill Shelter will be home tonight. Somewhere around 22 miles and 6,000 feet of climbing, elevation gain, and I feel it. I'm tired, but not as tired as I thought I might be, so I guess that's good. It's good training for the White Mountains coming up, where a 6,000 foot day might not get you anywhere. I don't know. We'll find out in a few days, but sorry there weren't more views today. A lot of the summits today were just trees, but check out the sun up there if you can see it. All right, so I got about a quarter mile till the shelter here, so I just wanted to say goodnight in case there are a lot of people at the shelter. And I don't, you know me, I don't like talking too much around a lot of other people, making them listen to my YouTube ramble into my phone. But anyway, thanks for watching today. It's been a good hike. It's been a tough hike. I bet I ate $30 of protein bars and snacks and Slim Jims and cheese and just everything, trying to keep the legs fueled up because they were still a little burnt from that 17-mile sprint up and down Killington. So maybe tomorrow to be back to normal. And we got a few miles, 16 miles or so to Hanover, New Hampshire, and then Vermont will be done. Vermont's almost done. This is our last night in Vermont unless something happens. So it's been good. We got very fortunate. We were blessed with great weather for the most part in Vermont. Lots of bugs, a little bit of mud, lots of rocks, and some really challenging climbs and days to try to get in 20 miles or close to 20 on a few days. It was tricky. It was tough, but we did it. We had to take some blue blazes and get some water, and had some hot days, so I had to drink a ton and still not stay ahead of the water game. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget I have HikingWithSlowAndSteady@gmail.com if you want to send an email. If there's anything you want to say, leave a comment below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're still watching, you should be subscribed. But and also there's the thanks button down there. Just a reminder, just in case you want to say thanks with a couple of bucks. That's not what I'm on here to do, but if you feel like you want to contribute, that's how you do it. You hit the thanks button. There's a way to send a couple of bucks. All of it goes straight to me. YouTube doesn't take a cut of that. So, and for those of you that have done it, I really appreciate it. You've helped offset some of the equipment replacement costs that I've had to do. You know, I'm not trying to make any money out here. I'd be in trouble if that was the case. But I appreciate everything because it helps offset some of the unexpected expenses of this trip. So with that, I'm going to run down to the camp and get set up. I think it's 6:30 probably. So it's time to dry off, put some camp clothes on, eat, and sleep, and rehydrate. Anyway, thanks for watching. If I don't show you the camp down here, bear with me. It's just been a long day. All right, here's the sign. Thistle Hill Shelter, point 1, right down here where Bob's heading. And then Vermont Route 14, 4.8 miles. Not 100% sure how far New Hampshire is, but we'll find out and probably let you know in the morning. But right now, you know the priority. Let me get to camp here. find some water. All right, got to camp, got the little fire going, made our meals with it. I had pad thai, chicken, I got some ramen in there. And this is half a plow right now. I'm gonna flip I set up everything inside first, then I'll flip the last cover over and it'll be over here. And now you've seen the plow on here a bunch. Works real well. Got the bivvy set up with it off my face. My feet will be fine. There aren't many bugs out right now. Maybe because I keep standing in the smoke of the fire on purpose. There's a couple of us tenting here. That's Rocket Man up there. There's Bob's place. The shelter's down there. I'll try to show you the privy in a little bit. It's different. Anyway, if I don't, have a good night. If I do, I'll say it again. I don't film too many privies or outhouses, but this one is unique. It's a bit of a fishbowl, but there's nothing in eyesight of here, although I could see this clearly from the trail. But this moved from Cloudland. You can read that. That's a shelter just south of here. They took it apart and moved it here for some reason. Anyway, thought you might get a kick out of it. All right. Have a good night, and that's it for me tonight. It's 7:30 and everybody's hitting bed, and it's almost hiker midnight here.